Greetings from Anonymous Operation Stop Suicide. On this, the 5th day of November 2016, we would like to remind you that while you're enjoying anonymous unity during the Million Mask March today, it's possible that someone around you may be hurting. Someone around you could be in unbearable pain. Someone you see today could be so depressed that living another day seems useless and unbearable to them. Please take the time to make sure all your brothers and sisters are doing well. If someone needs assistance or just to talk, we're here to help. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Operation Stop Suicide is here for anyone in need. We encourage every compassionate human who's able to help us help others. We ask you join us to show others we genuinely love and care about them and help give people reasons to live. If you're someone in need of help, please look for the hashtag OpStopSuicide and know that you're special and you're priceless and that there are people out there that love you. Enjoy your day. Be kind to each other. We are Anonymous Operation Stop Suicide. We are family. We stand united. We love one another. We are united by one, divided by zero.
Hey guys, it's Gear. We're here. This is the Live on the 5 MMM Live on the 5 2016. We have been broadcasting continuously all day, and I would like to first and foremost thank all the folks behind the scenes. Canadian Glenn, you got Smoker, Tim, Best Buds, Top, and myself, who decided that we were going to do this crazy thing just a week ago or so. So, thanks for you guys who have listened. Thank you for everyone who have retweeted and have been in the chat. We really, really appreciate you guys. I'm going to be kind of wrapping up MMM, telling you some things that have happened from some of the different protests throughout the nation, throughout the globe. I was in Sacramento, California, myself. The protest kicked off about 9 o'clock in the morning. Only two Anons were there because things got a little weird. Last year there was some malarkey going on. We had a riot. We had some people injured. So the planning of the whole thing was kind of scary for the folks that were involved in it, and they didn't get a permit. So next year, like the MMM Live on the 5, I think this one will be a little more set and more concrete. It was a really good protest, though, very family friendly. So many cute little tiny Anons. It was just adorable to see these little guys and girls out there with their signs like "We are love" and "I want to be free" and all these beautiful things. It was so great. We only had a couple of exchanges with cops. We were really lucky. I've heard that the DC protest actually woke up this morning to a lot of people getting arrested, I believe. Tim, do you have any enlightenment on that situation?
I've been gone after we broadcasted this morning with Glenn, and Seven called in. And at that time, he said they had made some arrests, but it was pretty mellow. The cops were in riot gear. It was the first time he'd ever seen him in riot gear at this protest.
Wow.
A couple of them came out with some machine guns for a while, and then they went back away, I guess. And they weren't tripping. They were just leaning around on walls and standing around. He sent me some pictures later, but I mean, it didn't look like it went really crazy, which is good.
And that's what I think Glenn was saying, that from what he heard, it had calmed down after the fact, and that it kind of, Seven is actually, I just talked to him on one of the channels of the social medias, and he said he was tired, And I think we all are. Protesting is kind of a lot of work, You're screaming, you're holding sign, you're doing all these crazy things. But I think the long and the short of it was that it was a really good day for us here in Sacramento. I know LA wasn't as well attended as we wanted it to be, but maybe next year it'll be better, right?
I hope so. I mean, compared to every other year, it was terrible. Terrible.
I wonder why.
There's reasons why. I don't really want to talk about them right here.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I was just me being a Well, that was what was happening in Sacramento, too, because 3 years ago, we decided that we wanted to go to Sacramento, or maybe 4 years ago, and one of the guys that had come to our protest up north was saying, that's not a great idea, because the guy who was organizing it was really trying to do a lot of egoing and faming and doing a lot of that kind of stuff, and saying that, you had to do things his way or the highway, and a lot of Anons are just really not receptive to that. I mean, honestly, come on. People don't want to be told what to do, especially at a protest. So, and especially on our day of unity. They want to be able to go and express themselves. This is what this day is about. So for me, this is my first time to going down to Sacramento, and it was really successful. So I'm very, very happy that it was. Thank goodness, man. Such a wild day, though. Like I said, two cops on horses drove by or rode by. They kind of checked us out. They were looking at us, and they didn't say anything, but another officer on a bike rode by, and he yelled at us because we had crossed an imaginary line. Holy God, the world will be ending. The funny thing, Tim, the really funny thing is that these poor people were having a wedding right the Capitol where we were protesting. I was like, oh man, if that was my wedding, I'd go join them. But, definitely was their special day, and there was a lot of people screaming, water is life, question your government, research your government, question authority. It was really funny.
Yeah, I have respect for everyone that shows up. Gear, just so you know, I know you can't see the chat maybe right now, but we have
no, I can't.
Top is in there. He's saying he wants me to give him a call, and maybe Canadian Glenn as well. You want me to give them a call while you?
Oh yeah, let's maybe go to the next tune and grab those guys and bring them in.
Okay, do that right now.
That'd be great. Welcome back. This is actually, now it's Top Gear Live, but it's MMM Live on the 5, continuous global coverage of the Million Mask March, Anonymous's big day of unity. I'm Gear. We are joined by the insane Top, who is apparently still awake. He's superhuman and an international man of mystery. How do you like those apples?
They'll do.
Hey, Top.
You right?
How the hell are you, man? What happened today in Trafalgar Square?
Well, it was more of an autumnal stroll through London parks and gates. It was interesting.
It was interesting.
Yeah, to say the least. I've got an update on AJ.
Update on AJ. I would love to hear an update on AJ.
For those that don't know, one of our friends was arrested this evening for the crime, I believe, of carrying a flag. But the latest update is he's still arrested. He's not out yet. So the police were throwing all sorts of crimes, legislation that protesters, Section 40 this, Section 30 that, and I try to get out of them. So exactly what does that mean? And previous protests, the police weren't too clued up. It seems as if they're having legal lessons now. So the laws that they're enacting or enforcing, they're actually getting a better understanding of what that means.
Awesome.
Which is a strange turn of events. Did you like my incognito? I'm not on UK radio. I'm Rick Ashley FM.
I don't know if I heard that part. I was traveling, and then we were protesting really hard. I mean, there was a lot of stuff going on here. It was definitely not Trafalgar Square, obviously, but Sacramento was pretty damn good. I haven't heard much from too many other cities. I heard one of the ladies talking about San Francisco. I'm not sure how that went. I haven't gotten an update on that. I'll try to look that up at the next break, see how that went. But I know that a non-UK radio had a little conversation with the Met yesterday or the day before on Twitter, right?
Yes, it was an interesting exchange.
Indeed.
I was not part of that exchange, but it ended quite cordially, and then AJ still gets arrested.
Right?
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. I can't believe he got arrested. That is absolutely ridiculous. And of course, you know, it's one of those things where it's ridiculous. He was carrying a flag. Oh, or was he carrying it, or did he have it on a pole? He had it on a pole, right? He usually does, right?
Well, it was, you know, when you go to these events and you're with your friends and you have meeting places or landmarks. You
have to have the flag.
The flag was the landmark. It's okay. I'm in this protest. I'm bimbling around trying to find people to talk to. Which I actually failed at, incidentally. I lost everybody. But I always had the focal point of the flag to head to. And then
well, and that flag is famous. That flag was in Russia Today and BBC News and all kinds of places last year during the MMM in Trafalgar Square. So I just want to remind people of that. It's a landmark, a non-flag, man.
It's a battered and bruised flag. There's no holes in it because once the police took the flag off AJ when he was arrested, the activists there pretty much stated, that's not your property, that's our property, and a kind of tug of war ensued to retrieve the flag with great success. They got the flag back and they carried on.
Did anybody get this on video by any chance?
I don't know. I need to catch up with all the streams, but I was stood right next to, as this was all going on, one of the Anon UK lady DJ hosts took a bit of a knock, got knocked to the ground, lost her phone, etc. To be honest, it was unnecessary.
Was that by the police?
By the police, yeah.
What the hell?
There was a lot of reporters there. They were jostling. The police were jostling. The activists were jostling. And it was all over absolutely nothing. To be honest, it was a disgrace. And the police should never have been there. They should never have been antagonising AJ. He shouldn't have been arrested.
And that's, this is time and time again we've seen this. And the mainstream media and the mainstream people always believe that it is the protesters who get wild and violent when we are watching live streams and we are there and we have friends there. We get reports from the ground. And most of the time, it is the police who start the violence. I'm going to stand by that statement, and I don't care who disagrees with me. Most of the time, we saw it in Ferguson, we saw it in Baltimore, we saw it in Trafalgar Square tonight. Come on. We're sitting there peacefully protesting, not blocking the sidewalk, not blocking anyone's path, saying excuse me when people are coming by, and a police officer on a bike rode up and he started admonishing us for being behind an imaginary line. He said you have to be on the other side of the line. So you know what I did, Top, obviously, right? I asked him for his phone number. And called him Officer Cutie and, whistled at him and catcalled him and stuff. Because, that's what you do.
That's sexual deviance, you know that?
Yeah, well, you know what? I'm a pretty girl. What can I say?
So he
looked at me like, what the fuck? I was like, can I get your number? What I meant was his badge number, obviously, but he thought I meant his phone number.
Yeah, I had a few interesting conversations with the police this evening.
I heard one.
Yeah. Sorry, there's an event going on here, officer. I didn't know that there's a protest going on here. I'm just a passerby, minding my own business with my headphones on, talking to the world.
Yeah. Well, that was part of what I was doing. I'm walking around on my phone, and I felt kind of like an ass because everybody else is like, water is life. You can't drink oil. And I'm like trying to join in, but I'm broadcasting live. I'm sorry. So it's kind of funny to be a journo at these events. You know what I mean? It's like, but it was interesting, and it's just really nice to see all of. We got a lot of really great statements from a lot of really great ops. We were able to do a lot of great things. We're having some problems trying to find a place to settle down for the rest of the show because we're not at home. So we found it. We have arrived. Everything is good.
The flag is even more famous now because thanks to our friend Beard and Kay, the whole de-arrest of the flag was caught on Ruptly. Ruptly was the Russia Today. They actually filmed the whole event. 3.3 million views that event had.
And I'll tell you what, that view would have been higher if it had not been blocked in many places in the U.S. My friends were trying to watch that stream and could not get it. Isn't that interesting, boys and girls?
Indeed.
I thought that was very fascinating. So I'm like, well, that's weird, right?
Totally. It's it was a very strange evening throughout, to be honest. I need to be honest here. There were some bad actors in the crowd.
Yeah.
Of what I witnessed. I posted it to Facebook earlier. Some of the bad actors in the crowd. One guy dressed as an activist would, quite short in height for a police officer, but he started screaming and shouting and running in the direction of the police cordon, screaming everyone and agitating everyone to follow him to go and break through the police cordon. No one really paid much attention, but I watched him and I had my eye on him throughout all of this. And he looked at me and I looked at him and I just knew the fucking guy was a short-ass fucking police plant. There to act. And he knew that I knew.
So what happened? Where did he go?
Absolutely nothing happened. Melee? He kind of just slunk back into the crowd, and I didn't hear his fucking voice again. It was, what are you doing, you tosser? What, you just, because you say so, everyone's just going to follow and run after you and go and break a police cordon? When, to be honest with you, Trafalgar Square, it was like an invasion was taking place. You know, remember the board game Risk or a game of chess?
Oh, yeah. Oh, dear God, do I? Yes, I do. Yes.
Strategy was being played out throughout this event, and
so they kettled you. From what you were saying on air earlier this afternoon, this evening for all of you in the UK, they kettled you except for one exit. And then from what I heard, there were vans outside that exit. Was that true?
did you say bands?
Vans, like...
Vans, yeah. There was vans on all exits, lines of riot vans on all exits. If they wanted to, they could have arrested hundreds and hundreds of people. Over 1,000 police were deployed for the event.
And see, it's like, you don't need this. This is a waste of taxpayers' dollars. It's a complete waste of time. It's a waste of energy, and it just makes the police look like assholes. You're arresting somebody for carrying a flag? I mean, it's just ridiculous.
It is interesting because you mentioned the Twitter conversation with the Metropolitan Police
yes.
the other night. And they said, well, we made over 50 arrests last year, and on UK Twitter, not me, incidentally, rebuked with, yeah, but how many of them were fake arrests or trumped up charges? You probably had 20 arrests at most, and they rebuked with, okay, so if there was only 20 arrests, that's still 20 arrests. I would have said, not. I wasn't there last year, actually, but I think it was around 5,000 people in attendance.
And it was raucous last year. That a police car was caught on fire. A lot of stuff happened.
Yeah, that was away from the protests. That was nowhere near the protest that was occurring, and it was very handily caught on camera by a mainstream media journalist that just happened to be walking past as a car was being set fire to.
Yeah, the whole circumstance was fishy to me when I saw the whole thing, because it was like, why would they do that, first of all, and then why way away from the protest, and then how are you conveniently here? You know, it's the thing is, it's really easy to vilify Anonymous, and I think that's why this day is so important. This was one of the big things that I wanted to talk about as we wrap up the global Million Mask March. I mean, it's tomorrow for many people. We're here still, you know, in early evening hours over here. But one of the things I really wanted to touch on here on the final show is the fact that Anonymous does some really good things. I mean, we're talking from Death Eaters, which is all about trying to locate those horrifying, awful people who hurt children and, you know, use them in terrifying sexual ways for their own deviant pleasure, and they're higher ups in government and monarchies and, you know, untouchable type people. You might say the Trumps of the world, for example. That is, I think that's a really valid thing, because I didn't know about this ritual abuse before this. Serena Shim, another amazing operation. I wouldn't have known that this brave young woman, a journalist, who was just beautiful and vivacious and full of life. I mean, so vivacious they called her our Sassy. That's her nickname. She was murdered by, who knows? It's a suspicious car crash in Turkey after she uncovered some pretty iffy stuff. And if you want to know more information, hashtag #OpSerenaShim. Go look it up. It's something that everybody should really, really be looking into, because she was doing her job and she was killed for it, just like a lot of journalists have been. And I think that, you know, Anonymous keeping her memory alive, you know, by demanding justice for her is a beautiful thing. I think what happened to her was a horrible, horrible tragedy, and it's just heartbreaking. But that's another thing.
Yeah, she actually predicted her own death live on air.
I did. I don't think I knew that, Top. That's terrifying.
one of her last, if not the last broadcast, she stated that she will be killed by Turkish intelligence.
She said she was going to be arrested, not killed.
Oh, thank you for the clarification.
Sorry I just wanted to make sure. Yeah,
thanks,
she was
Tim.
arrested.
It's just, it's something that the world needs to know about Serena Shim. They do. They need to know about her and all the work she did uncovering what she uncovered, which I always get it wrong. Tim, can you remind me what exactly she uncovered? Because I know it was something to do with Turkey and ISIL and da-da-da-da-da, but I always fuck it up, so.
Yeah, she witnessed ISIL militants being transported across Turkey in World Food Organization trucks. And I'm trying to. Glenn is really good at doing this. He did it earlier. I mean, I'm not the best person at public speaking. That's why I'm in radio here. But yeah, what happened was she was on her way. They were driving, her and her camera woman, who was also her relative, Judy Irish. A truck bashed into them, and they were both taken to separate hospitals. One was very close, where Judy Irish was taken with a broken nose, and she was banged up really bad. And Serena was taken to another one almost an hour away, and it's also a hospital run by Erdogan's. Well, I know she works in it, and she's like somebody big over there, and Erdogan's daughter, and they treat ISIL agents or fighters in that hospital. So it's just a whole bunch of questions we have.
Right.
We've had since day one. They've showed two different pictures of two different accidents that were the supposed accident. They gave her mother a fake autopsy report. They've changed the story, the official, I'm using hand quotes when I say official story, multiple times. They've censored everything that Op Serena has done pretty much nonstop.
It was an absolute honor to have her family on Top Gear Live and to hear her story through the eyes of her sister, her mother, her best friend. It was...
You there, Gear?
Did you drop? I'll carry on from where Gear was stated. It was an absolute honour to meet three such beautiful, strong, capable, intelligent, sassy ladies. I think they all perfectly and truly reflected exactly what Serena Shim was all about, and it was outstanding to talk to them. It was an honour to have them come and discuss a very personal situation of theirs with us. There was, sometimes on radio you just get moments where it's like, wow, did that really happen? It happened on our broadcast. Incident.
Here, guys.
Welcome back.
I've been sitting here babbling on, waxing this, just really, that was an eloquent speech I just gave to myself.
I can't wait to hear it.
I don't think anybody will ever hear it.
You could release it in 4 years' time with some of your released work.
The archive tapes, yes. Gear, the archives, the early years, or the middle years, or the I'm an auntie years. I'm not sure. Anyway, where were we?
Breaking news. You guys may see it in IRC. Anonymous hacks the Metropolitan Police in Million Mask March arrest revenge.
Oh, say it again, louder for those in the back.
Anonymous hacks the Metropolitan Police in Million Mask March arrest revenge.
That's so great. Can you still hear me?
Yes.
I want to have Bad say hello.
Bad.
Hey.
I bet.
What's crappening, guys?
We're just counting stock of where this beautiful day has led us.
Indeed. I'm glad you're with us. I didn't think you'd still be up, you nocturnal international man of Mr. U.
The excitement still coursing through my veins.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Especially after that. I mean, you had an exciting day. I was just happy. I'm really happy. I had a great, happy fucking protest. I met a lot of cool people.
I've never actually been in a kettle before, and just to highlight, when I left the square this evening, I got looked up and down to see whether I was suitable enough to leave. Can you believe that? All of the exits. Oh. I said to a police officer, I said, okay, so I can't be here, so where do I go? Oh, you can go down there to the left. Okay, I go down to the left. Police. You're not allowed to be here. Anyone after 9 o'clock is going to get arrested. I think his exact words were, you need to get out of here before a police officer that's not as nice as me sees that you're still here.
Are you kidding me?
Absolutely not.
This is insanity. I mean, and this is what we're protesting, this police state bullshit right here. I mean, we have the right to protest our governments. We do. We have a right to say what you're doing is wrong. And you guys have been through the fucking ringer in the UK in the last year. Things have changed a whole lot, and not a lot of people are real happy about it.
Well, we've got the whole Brexit thing going off. We've got a massive increase in crimes against foreign-sounding people.
Yeah, even people who are who are UK citizens who just look like they're foreign are getting, harassed. A lot of Polish people are getting harassed. I mean, I'm watching a lot of reports come in, and it's what's happening here in the U.S. as well as we watch, the Trump train explode and the circus keep, rolling along towards Tuesday. We're watching, I saw a reporter say that she had been called a Jewish slang, Jewish racial slang word, a derogatory thing, and I don't want to say it. She said it was the first time in her life she'd ever been called that, and she said, I believe it was Trump. Because of Trump.
Yeah. I can't blame Trump for the UK situation because that's been kind of ongoing for a little while.
But I'm drawing parallels here, my friend. There are certain parallels we can see here. And actually, one Red's aunt said that Brexit is great for the UK yesterday. And I was like, oh, really? Is it? You're an American. How the fuck do you know, lady? So, at least America thinks it's good for you.
Yeah. I'm just thinking that once Brexit goes through and the racist, fascists properly get a grip on politics in the UK, they'll just cave in the Channel Tunnel. They'll probably throw mines into the English Channel to stop any ships travelling through, or any of those pesky migratory boats of migrants trying to land on these shores. They're just going to electrify the waters around the UK. I think it's just stupid.
Jesus
But
Christ.
it's stupid in the fact that it's real violence happening against people. I speak with others that teach in schools. I'm talking about friends in the US now. There's a real fear, and there is a narrative in the US at the moment which is invoking fear into a large proportion of the population, regionally more so. But yeah, it's terrifying for them.
It's terrifying for me.
Yes.
I'm an indigenous woman, and I'm a journalist, and I'm an anarchist, and I'm very outspoken. I'm not the model citizen that, and I'm also not a 10. You know, come on.
You're not a shy flower.
Definitely not. I'm not. But I don't think that, President Trump would take kindly to the criticisms that I'd be willing to throw his way, if you know what I mean. So, I don't know. The circus is coming soon, and it's going to be wild. So, I don't know if we're going to burn down America on Tuesday or not.
The circus is coming to town. That's when you get the fuck out of there.
Yeah. Well, you know where I live, in the middle of nowhere. So, it's going to take martial law a little while to reach where I am.
What you need to start doing, instead of digging trenches to put out fires, you need to dig trenches to keep out your government. When Trump's
Exactly.
put Bad to work again.
Oh, he's not a no. No, he does not want to dig ditches. Well, I think that was one of the cool things about today. It was a lot of the chant that they did the most besides water is life, you can't drink oil, was question everything, research your government. And I loved that. I think that was great. That was a really good statement. Research your government, find out what the hell is going on where you live. And I think this is important for people to do. We're all bedazzled by the circus that is the presidential race. But if you've got Speaker Paul Ryan here who's looking at, forgetting about the top of the ticket and trying to work on the down ballot, then maybe we should start focusing on trying to get some Green Party people and some Pirate Party people and some independents and whatnot into those seats instead of these old establishment types. Because that's really the only way we're going to make any change, without a bloody coup, to be honest.
But as Barrett Brown highlighted, it just doesn't stop at your government. There's a massive contracting, defence and cyber market at play now as well. Revolving door scenarios of we used to work for the government, we know this is going on, we're now going to set up our own company and become security experts. It's like the black water of the fucking internet.
Oh yeah, oh god, and it's scary,
And the cash is limitless. There's a lot of money to be made in cyber defense contracting. Look at
and especially with the fear mongering, Right now we've got Hillary up on stage going, Russia did it! Oh my God! Russia's coming after us! Cyber war! So the whole country is back to the Cold War feeling of Russia is coming after us. And it's John Podesta dropped his fucking phone out of a cab. That's how, you get hacked, dude. Hello?
Apparently.
I mean, come on.
We all know it's the Russians. Standing on the side of the road, waiting for phones to fall out of taxis.
That's what they do.
I've just got something very, very interesting posted to me. If I can recite it.
Oh, please do.
Okay, this is the Metropolitan. This is a Metropolitan Police document. and it's conditions to be imposed on persons organising or taking part in a public procession, i.e. protest. Okay? The location and nature of the public procession. This notice applies to anyone attending, including all supporters and or participants of the protest known as a Million Mask March. Written notice given under S.11. Notified route. Not notified. Notified time. Not notified. Name of organizer. Not notified. Intended route. Not known. Intended time. Not known.
But you see, the issue there is there's somebody sitting in a terminal getting paid 35 quid an hour to enter that data.
Yes.
And a wild Glen appears. Hello.
Thank God we are on the home stretch.
You've had a long day, both of you.
I tried to blow smoke up your asses, guys. Fantastic work, everyone involved in today's organisation. Online radio, that is. I never had anything to do with the events today on the ground. I don't think anyone did. Everyone just showed up.
That's what it generally happens, you know? We all just go, I'm pretty sure this is going to happen at the Capitol. Let's just go there. Or, hey, I think it's going to happen in Trafalgar Square. Let's just go there. Oh, that's funny. That is funny. Well, I hope that AJ gets out very, very soon, because I'm really angry about that, you guys.
Yeah, the flag survived, as I say. I'm sure that'll be reunited with AJ upon his release. There are people.
Go ahead.
I was going to say there are people. They've stayed behind in London to collect AJ upon his release, whenever he is released.
Were there other arrests, Tom?
47, I believe.
Wow. Well, that's 3 less than last year.
Yes.
Will AJ be getting a summons and he will have to return to London at some point?
Well, it depends on what the charge was. These are the options. They can hold him if they want to take him to court until Monday and put him in the magistrate's court for Monday. If the charges are severe, that the magistrates cannot deal with them, he could be remanded until a Crown Court date is set. I don't think that's going to be the case. I have no idea of anything that severe that would hold AJ in a police cell for more than 12 to 16 hours.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All over a flag.
There was some possession charges levied. I don't think there was any possession charges levied against AJ. I wasn't immediately next to the event as he was arrested. I tried to listen in, but a lot of the stuff occurred before I was next to it. I kind of turned up when the flag was being commandeered from the police. Because it wasn't their flag, people. You just can't go and take someone's flag. I know how you Americans love your fucking flags, people. Anonymous UK likes their flags as well. You don't fuck with the flag.
Man, the only flag I had was the Nyan Cat flag on our car that we flew all the way down to the protest and back.
See, the issue is if you were in California, I'm sure you could get a civil rights organization to sue the police for stealing your flag.
Probably.
Yes, I think you could. Definitely.
I think so.
Yep. Without a doubt.
But at least the flag has survived.
Yes.
It's a trooper, you know? It's a trooper, that flag.
To fly another day.
proudly waving.
That's right. Anon, UK radio, across the waves. Fuck you, police.
Fuck authority! Damn it! Oh man, I'm just like, I'm blown away by the fact that that shows you the pettiness of these people. It's absolutely ridiculous to be arrested over a flag, but it's also showing you the prejudice of these people.
Well, I mean, it's another quota-filling exercise. That's all it is.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
You know, I mean, if they deployed 1,000 Met police, they're not going to come back empty-handed. It's just not going to happen.
It would look bad for the department, wouldn't it?
Well, somebody at the commander level would have to answer for the overtime without any arrests. So you can guarantee that they're going to make it worthwhile.
The world we live in is such a calamity.
Well, if you work with a hammer, everything is a nail.
True enough. True
Deep.
enough.
That's deep, huh? That's very, very deep.
1:52 in the morning AM here. This is philosophical time.
Deep Thoughts by Top.
I'm not going to lie. That's all you're getting.
You know, it's almost 2 a.m. there. It's almost 8 p.m. here, but I feel like it's 2 a.m.
I bet you do. I don't even know what time it is.
Glenn,
Almost
I think this is the first time we've actually conversed, voice to voice.
I think it is too, probably.
Good to hear you, man.
Yes, I must say you did a hell of a job today. That was quite impressive for having a phone to run the entire show and being in that situation. That was outstanding work, sir.
Mm-hmm. Here.
I try to keep it simplified. I'm gonna tether to my tablet so I can do some social media on my tablet and all blah blah blah. And it's like, look, just keep it simple. I did it on the cheap. It was a set of headphones that come with a phone. I did some external outside research and testing yesterday with Gal, and the audio from the mic apparently was fine. It's like, do you know what? I'm just going to run with it. It is what it is.
No, I think it went really well. I mean, there's definitely no indication that it can't be done either next year or at a similar event. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it's maybe a week or two until somebody else on Spreaker does the same thing.
Yeah. I apologise because I was hoping to go with live stream after, as stated on the broadcast. I did stream, but it just froze up for anyone that was watching. It just wasn't worth anybody's time or effort. Things were kind of quieting down, so I just put an end to it and left it as it was.
Well,
Yeah, I tried to watch it, and I was like, oh well, something must be going on. And, who knows at this point? I figured that, the cops had probably cleared everybody out, and you guys had to leave the area anyway.
well, there may have been a little bit of stingray activity going on. Who knows?
There most definitely was, or IMSI catchers, as they're alternatively known. We know because Anonymous is quite a technically savvy group. You can bet your bottom dollar anyone that was leaking any information, any packets from their phone, they would have been caught up in a dragnet. I would have been. That's for sure. That's just the nature of these operations now. I mentioned when I was recording, the police were filming the protesters and the protesters were filming the police. It was like a standoff of the camera war.
Yeah, I've done that. I've done that.
We're seeing it at Standing Rock constantly. You see every single time there is a confrontation, there's like 1 or 2 cops that have a video camera, not a phone, a video camera, and they're filming the protesters and the protectors, and the natives are filming the cops. So it's become that, like, yeah, okay, you gonna record us? Well, we're gonna record you, because it's definitely like, you can't take somebody's word for things anymore in a court of law. There has to be like video evidence and stuff, It's like, well, it's not good enough. That's circumstantial. Allegedly. I'm not a lawyer, but I've seen that happen a lot, and it's ridiculous. So I think it's wise, if you're in a situation, to record as much as you possibly can, even if you can't live stream it. If you're getting into a bad situation where you're protesting and you're getting kettled, start recording. And hopefully they won't snag your phone and do what they did at Standing Rock. I don't know if you guys heard, but they took all the things that when they arrested the 140 plus people, I think it was 142 maybe, they took sacred regalia, they took cell phones, they took all kinds of stuff. And when they returned it, they just brought like a dump truck and dumped it on a big pile on the ground. And we're talking eagle feathers and things that aren't supposed to touch the ground. It's against our ways, Well,
that's the entire purpose of it, though.
Yep. Absolutely.
Ridiculous.
Oh, it's maddening. It's maddening. And it's just a lot. I almost said most people, but I don't think it's most people anymore. Thanks to social media, I think a lot of people don't understand the culture enough to understand why that's so offensive and why this is so offensive, etc. But what I would suggest is to listen to the Native American people and the First Nations people and the Aboriginals and the Indigenous peoples. If they say something's offensive, just take them at their word that it is, because it is. Oh, Lord. It's just been Halloween and Thanksgiving's coming. This is a hard time for me. Anyway.
Can I give a massive shout out to the mainly peaceful protesters? I think the agitators of this event were definitely the police from start to finish. But the eclectic collection of individuals. I watched a 70 or 80-year-old guy in shorts, green. He was dressed up like a leprechaun, doing a jig in the middle of the road in Trafalgar Square. Swear to God. I was recording audio at the time, so there was no visual, so all I can do is relay the images imprinted on my mind.
Oh, that's beautiful.
He was 70 to 80 years old if he was a day, and he was jigging, and he had a sign saying, "Thank you, Russia, because you're stopping America from committing World War III."
Yeah, until next week when it starts. And that actually, I'm glad you brought that up, because that was one of the big concerns for the Anons at the protest I was at, was that America is about to start World War III. Like, honestly, this is a huge concern. So,
well, there is a school of thought on this. I mean, people bring up the thought of nuclear confrontation, and the way I see it, being outside the States, is with the division within the Republican Party. If Trump somehow wins the election and he has a bad day and says, press the button, the chances of somebody in the chain of command saying, I'm not doing that, he's a fucking crackpot, it's probably about 50-50. But if Hillary is in the Oval Office, Hillary, who is connected to every racket on the face of the earth, if she says push the button, nobody's going to say no.
You're absolutely right. And that's 100% correct, and that's one of the things I'm very afraid of is currently on this fly zone over Syria. Or it's very tired. I don't even know why I'm so tired. You guys did all day long. Tom's a maniac. But if she institutes that no-fly zone, Russia has said that they're not going to stand for that shit. So that's scary. So why do we need to do that? Why don't we just try to heal ourselves and let them heal themselves, and maybe fix our bridges and stuff and build some factories?
Can I simplify how I see the up and coming U.S. elections? If Trump wins, you have civil war. If Hillary wins, you have global war.
Yeah, there's some logic to that. Definitely.
Severe stance. When you start talking no-fly zones over Syria, that means you're restricting Russia and Syria. The politics of this is highly complex, and I'm not going to go into a dialect of the complexities of it because it's way above my station. But if you just look at what the candidates say themselves and what the possible ramifications are of this. Trump, build a wall, let's get people out. Stop people coming in. Let's cause racial tension internally on your own soil instead of building harmony and a cohesive society. Civil war. Hillary Clinton, let's take a firm stance. In other words, what she's saying is Barack Obama has not been strong enough politically on the world stage for America. She may be electioneering. We don't know. She was a foreign secretary, if I'm right.
Yep.
So she's been foreign secretary under the willing of Barack Obama.
Secretary of State is the title here.
Yeah, same thing.
Just saying.
So some of her electioneering statements, like no-fly zones over Syria, that's great. It's like, how do you put an analogy to that? It's like putting your elderly relative into a home that you're not going to pay for, and hoping that their arse is going to be wiped correctly. It's just going to end in disaster if you're not going to put the capital to it. The situation in Syria is massively complex. You've got Turkey, going back to Serena Shin. Turkey have just arrested their third political party. Third opposition political party, which is mainly Kurds. A number of them have been arrested in recent days. Political clampdown. On top of all the political clampdowns that occurred after the coup, now the Kurds are being systematically incarcerated as well. Now, with Hillary, she wants to take a hawk stance. She's like a Republican in a woolly sheep's clothing. So I think my analogy stands. Trump, civil war. Hillary, global war.
I'm with you, because he, at the last debate, the Donald went up there and said that he would tell us at the time of the election whether or not he's going to accept the results, and that's unprecedented. You don't just have an exchange of power that's not peaceful in this country. That's not been done, dude.
I'll tell you what's interesting in the UK. And there has never been so much outspoken commentary on both candidates running for this presidential campaign. It's unprecedented. In the UK, if you listen to people, whether they're US or UK commentators, they are both equally hated in equal measures.
They are, and that's the hard part about it. You know, the Democrats failed by not putting Bernie up, who's obviously the crowd favorite, and the Republicans failed by just failing. I mean, I don't know what the hell their circus did this round, but it was a pretty bad set to begin with, and then they ended up with, I'm going to say the second to worst, because Ted Cruz would have been a theocrat, and that to me is way more frightening.
Well, it's just a different god. Trump's god is the dollar.
I know. I don't know. There's something about Ted Cruz that scares the living shit out of me.
Do you guys remember the film with Keanu Reeves, where he's the lawyer? Devil's Advocate. You must remember.
No, I don't think I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I have.
Watch that film.
I have.
The law rules the world, and it's true. And Donald Trump is only where he is today because he's manipulated. He has good lawyers.
Absolutely, because he's rich.
And some of them he actually pays, apparently.
They're the lucky ones.
He's rich because he doesn't pay people.
Tax.
He fucks people over. I mean, not just tax, but I mean, that's how people get rich, is that they're, that's how people climb to the top. They're assholes. They fuck people over.
Other people's money. That's the secret. Other people's money. I
Definitely.
mean, who can own a casino in the United States and run it into the ground? How is this even possible?
That was the only thing Hillary said that I agreed with during her campaigns or one of the debates or something. Seriously, how the fuck do you lose money with a casino? Especially Atlantic City. People go there to spend all their money.
There is a very plausible excuse, and all it does is demonstrate Trump's megalomania, because he bought one casino and he got into the market there and is like, okay, this is making money. This is cool. He bought another one that was slightly larger. That one made money too. So he had about 50% of Atlantic City market, and he was making money. Then Bally's was building the biggest casino anybody had ever seen there. And halfway through construction, he decided, well, I'm going to buy that too. So he paid over $1 billion for the building. And then he opened it, and he found that he was competing with himself for the same dollar.
Right? That's who we want to be president. Right? Okay. Good job, America.
Exactly. So
totally ridiculous.
He bought himself into bankruptcy. Awesome.
Right. He's had 3,500 lawsuits. That doesn't seem like an honest man to me. Regardless of the outcome of said lawsuits, if you've had 3,500 of them, you seem like you're doing something wrong.
But
I have had zero.
But
None.
You also see how he has spun that into this narrative he's selling, because he's different. He's the one. Everybody else is crooked and crafty and this and that. It's Mussolini 2.0. That's all.
Oh, it is. It's so evident to anybody who has studied that era or has a brain in any way, shape, or form. I mean, it's evident to see exactly, the nationalism, the white pride thing, the whole nine. Everything that he's talking about is just, it's insane. And I can't believe that I've devolved to Trump, because it's coming. It's happening on Tuesday here. Early voting has started, obviously. But we have a criminal and a criminal, a crook and a crook. I mean, they both are criminal. They both are crooks. They're both horrible people. And what I think needs to happen is more people need to get involved in other parties, like the Pirate Party.
Well, yeah, I mean, involvement is, I mean, this is what I say on my Canadian show all the time. I remind people democracy is a contact sport. Democracy is not marking an X on a piece of paper every 4 years and then going home and saying, well, I did my part. This is fucking bullshit. That's not how it works.
No, it's not. And what I'm always reminded of is my dad, who is a very wise man, saying, democracy is great unless your populace is incredibly stupid.
Well, that's true as well, you know? I mean, I just stick to the South Park narrative. This is douche versus turd sandwich. That's all it is. That's all it is. And people,
absolutely right.
And people tolerate it. So, I mean, as long as people tolerate it, it's going to go on. And if nothing happens after this election cycle, it'll only get worse.
Yep. And so, since Trudeau has been the PM in your fair country, how have things been there? Has he been all he promised to be? You know, are all the feminists really happy, and the First Nation people are healing and stuff, and the pipelines are stopping?
Nope.
Huh.
There's
and all the surveillance is going to go away, right?
There's the simple answer right there. Meet the new boss, same as the old boss.
Right.
There has
Except he's a younger, prettier version.
Exactly. There has been very little change. Most of the policies are the same. They're spending a shitload of money, but where that money is going to go and if we're going to get anything for it, that remains to be seen. But C-51, our Patriot Act, oh yeah, we're gonna amend the shit out of that. We're gonna take out all the stuff that shouldn't be in there. It's been over a year, nothing's happened. As far as we're going to implement UNDRIP. We're going to have a real nation-to-nation relationship with our Indigenous people. About 3 months after the government got in, the female Indigenous Justice Minister declared that was simply unworkable.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So, no, it's just we now have a big red pile of shit in Ottawa instead of a blue pile of shit.
Right, and that's what happens is we change the color of the bag of shit every couple of years.
Well,
But I keep saying, I think that people should be a lot more vested in their local governments. You know, it's really important to know who runs your fucking town because, like, just for example, in our neighboring town, they're voting to increase the taxes this year. Now, 90% of the people under the age of 40 don't vote. So when that tax gets passed, because they're selling it as we need law enforcement, oh my God, there's so many homeless people, they're going to come kill you, there's heroin, everybody's going to kill, rape, die, terrorism, oh my God. You know, so they're selling it as fear, and old people buy fear, and they're going to pass it. So all the young people are going to be like, what the fuck, why is everything so much more expensive? This is why we need to focus on our local governments, because the Circus Act in the fucking White House or wherever is just a circus act. It doesn't matter. What matters is the douchebag fucking congressman I have who claims he's a small farmer but just terrorizes First Nations and just does terrible things with water and has never farmed a day in his life, but decides to increase the farm subsidy while decreasing food stamps for the poor. It's not a good place, you know? If we got that asshole out, maybe we could have some poor people getting off welfare, off unemployment, getting a hand up, you know, rather than a hand out.
That's
which is what happened. I am a tribal person. Of course it's socialism, Tom.
You Russian commie, you.
I am a pinko. Damn pinko commie.
Niet Soviet.
Da. I am
Nice.
Russian. I think we should head to a tune for a few. I need to grab something to drink.
Okay, break time.
If that's okay with everybody. if Tim's around.
Yeah, I'm right here. Do you want to play the promo first and then the tune, or just the tune?
Yes, let's do that. That will be fun.
Okay, here we go.
Tim is a superstar, everybody. Tim is amazing. Glenn is a superstar, everybody. Glenn is amazing. Top, I think you're a superstar, and I think you're amazing. And Smoker is a superstar and is amazing. I just wanted to say all that.
We've touched.
Thank you, Gear.
You're welcome. And yes, Top, we have touched. We need to touch more.
Okay,
More touching.
More touching.
All right, we're going to head to a tune, a jingle, such.
This is a public service announcement from your local law enforcement agency.
Yes.
Your law enforcement agencies are hiring. We're looking for good, upstanding citizens all over the country. Are you the kind of person who hates to have to think for yourself? Has it always been easier for you to just do what you're told without question or conscience? Are you willing to commit war crimes against indigenous people to ensure that they get off the land that God Almighty has promised to multinational corporations? Are you willing to deal with a surge of Mexicans running rampant, wreaking havoc all across our great nation? Until we build that wall, we need good God-fearing officers who know what a real threat those Mexicans are, and who are willing to eradicate the problem. Are you the type of person who will not hesitate to shoot a black thug college professor reaching into his pocket right after you ask to see his identification? A good officer always puts his own safety first. Do you already know that all Arabs are terrorists, even the ones pretending not to be Muslims? Sound like you? Then you may be law enforcement material. Besides the thrill of getting to wear Nazi-like uniforms and donning military gear while stripping United States citizens of their human rights, being a cop can be fun and satisfying. Nothing is more fun than beating the living shit out of a mentally ill whack job, and if they fight back, you get to shoot them. And nothing is more satisfying than going home to your nice house and abused family after a day of smashing the property of the homeless bums and having the cars they live in towed away with all their possessions in them. Yes, you can become a cop too. You can be above the law and have rights other Americans don't. We have police unions to make sure of that. Contact your local law enforcement agency for more information.
Abnormally low intelligence is required. KKK or NSM membership is a plus.
And welcome back, everybody. We are MMM Live on the 5, and we're actually graciously being hosted by People's Radio United. Is that right?
Yes.
I got that right. Thank you, Tim, Best Buds. Amazing producer for our wrap-up show tonight. I'm Gear, and I'm with Top and Canadian Glenn. We are chatting about all things Anonymous, the Million Mask March. I wanted to hear the proudest moment in my co-host's life, because Top and I do a show on Sundays called Top Gear Live on and on UK Radio normally, and I wasn't expecting him to join me tonight because it's kind of late in the UK, but I'm really glad you did, because we've got some good news that you're going to share with us about our leader. And also your proudest moment of your life. I'd like to hear both of those things, if you wouldn't mind. If I may.
You may.
Thank you.
According to reports and inside intelligence within the Hive, there are whisperings that AJ has been released. He has not been compromised.
Good.
It's not confirmed yet. It could be a ruse. We don't know.
I hope it's not a ruse. I hope it's a reality.
But yeah, my best moment, I think, in my life ever was it was a personal play by myself on the police today, because obviously I don't want to be everywhere you went I was just surrounded by police on the radio broadcast, so I try to keep it on the lowdown. I couldn't just go screaming, "Yeah, we're on radio. Does anyone want to talk to Anna on UK Radio? Please come and discuss all that you know. Why you're here? What's your name? Where you from?" That type of shit. But I started questioning police on events and trying to just get them to open up to me. So I pretended that I was Rick Ashley Radio. And I kind of rickrolled the police into talking to me without them knowingly understanding it was Anna on UK Radio. It was Rick Ashley, because there's no harm done by being rickrolled, is there? It's a benign action. It made him a load of money. Does anyone know what his viewer count on Never Gonna Give You Up is? I'm going to search that now, just out of personal curiosity. Because apparently this caused Rick Ashley some quite personal hardship from a confidence perspective, because he made a couple of tunes. One of them got picked up on, and everybody clicked a false link. I can't believe I'm you know when you get told a joke and you don't get it, and then somebody explains it to you, it kind of loses its panache. I'm now explaining Rick rolling. I don't have to do that, do I? Guys, anyone? I'm out on a limb here on radio.
Yeah. I don't think you do. Is anyone else here still?
I don't know.
Well, I'm eating, but I want to vote
Here.
no. Do not explain Rickroll.
Yeah.
I kind of feel naked.
Gear. I think we lost Gear.
That's not good. So yeah, the police obviously don't know what rickrolling is, but I don't know if you guys were listening, but I also tried to find the leader of Anonymous as well at today's event, quite early on in the broadcast, because the Metropolitan Police were complaining that they had nobody to converse with. Nobody organised the event. There was no leader of the event, so they had no way of understanding how to manage the event. So,
I was voting for the explanation, but apparently I was somewhere else. I was like, no, you don't.
I tried
had really good. Like, really good commentary throughout that whole thing, too. What the hell?
I found the whole endeavour a chuckle.
Well,
I do chuckle quite a lot.
I had my own lulz today with the cops. That was fun. Officer Cutie Pie, who, by the way, was not cute at all. Oh, man. So, it's really kind of surprising that taxpayers are okay with all of this money being spent on suppressing people's right to free speech. I'm just really playing the devil's advocate over here, but, is this an avenue we can explore here? Do you know how much money these assholes are wasting on this bullshit? It's ridiculous. But, can you guys still hear me?
Yeah, it's an employment exercise. Now, our government at the moment is cutting back on its spending, and the police are being hit. The fire brigade's being hit. The NHS is being hit. They come up with financial vehicles to tell you that we're increasing spending on the NHS, but in real time it's not. With the police, there's a little bit of I played a clip on my show, actually. Jonathan Pye. If you don't know who Jonathan Pye is, please go and check his YouTube account and watch every fucking video this guy has posted, because he is gold. He's political gold. He's outstanding, and he's bang on the fucking money. And I played a clip today of Jonathan Pye. The pigs are getting fucked by Theresa May is the title of
God.
Yeah.
The pigs are getting fucked by Theresa May.
Now, this is a comedian calling our police officers the pigs. That was not me stating that, just so you know. But a comedian.
Yes, now we have to be careful. God, yes. Now they're listening.
The pigs are getting fucked by Theresa May, and they are. Their pensions are now being investigated. The amount of officers that are allowed on this. I'm going to be honest with you today. I see no example of government restriction on spending of the police for this event. Over 1,000 police officers in attendance at an event of the Million Mask March. Personally, I think that's excessive. I think they need to look further up the chain to who legislated for this and who actually signed this off.
Right. I think that's the only way to connect with these people on a real basis, is to explain to them the amount of money that's being wasted by this. I mean, the people who 9-to-5ers that get up and do their thing and don't really participate, like Glenn was talking about, in democracy in any way, shape, or form. If I was in government, that's the way that I'm able to get to some family members of mine who are very conservative. Is look, they're spending an obscene amount of your money by and it's not necessary. It's ridiculous. I'm sorry. And what were you going to say, Top?
I was just going to say, if I was a government auditor and I was trying to review police spending, it's yo, Matt, who the fuck ordered this 1,000 police officers to maintain an event that only had 20 arrests last year? So if you divide 1,000 police officers' salary by 20 and the entire cost of the fucking event, is that worthy of taxpayers' cash? 50 cops per arrest.
I don't think it is. And the one good thing about that type of situation is what we're seeing in Standing Rock is Morton County the sheriff's department that is coming after the protesters hard, and it's not just Morton County now. I don't know if you guys know that other states have sent in special forces types of units to help control the quote-unquote riots that are happening, which, sweat lodges and, peaceful prayer, drum circles, and jingle dancers are not riots, but whatever. But they're running out of money is the long and the short. TLDR, running out of money, and they're not going to be able to continue to have that police presence. And what I think is obscene is the fact that they are using emergency funds. Like, they declared a national state of emergency, not a state of emergency kind of a thing in Morton County, so they could use these funds that are allocated for like natural disasters and shit. That's obscene.
Well,
go ahead.
I was going to say, when you look at the back end of this as well, because a lot of the police officers that I spoke with this evening were very clued up on the laws that they were going to enforce this evening. So that means internal training on specifics to stifle protest. Now that is a massive time and resource endeavour. Then you put in the plants, the undercovers that were there to cause issues of this event, which I witnessed firsthand, may I say. And then you've got the 1,000 police officers and all the equipment that, I don't know, I probably saw 100 riot vans this evening. That's vans with capability of arresting, 8 people at a time. So that's 800 arrests we're prepared for. Okay?
It's just absolutely insane. I mean,
and then you get all the technology that the police have now acquired to film and document every face that was heard at that protest. Now you calculate all of this cost. And the activists are being blamed because they set off some fireworks and the police stormed them to agitate them to cause a reaction to warrant their own arrest. Now, we're in a time of austerity and we're just about to hit another financial collapse.
Yeah.
And our police are fucking around with the law and taking it into their own hands.
And, I wonder how much time and effort it took to to investigate what they projected Anonymous would be questioning them on. Am I making any sense here?
No, absolutely.
I know. When you were saying that they've invested time and energy into learning the laws that they were going to enforce on that night, I wonder how much time and energy they invested in studying Anonymous on top of that and trying to figure out what laws we would question at that protest and have those responses ready for the protesters.
I kind of spot checked, the knowledge. I did it intentionally. Okay, so I can't be here after 9. Why? Section so-and-so. What does that entail? It's enacted that you can't be here as part of this protest. And then my first statement was, what protest? You're not part of this protest. I didn't know this was a protest. This is a public road. Now, all of these police officers have been sat down and parrot-fashioned, educated into the law.
Yep.
Parrot-fashioned into a law that's actually illegal.
Yep.
They're being given instruction and being told that it's true to the law. If you take it to court, it could be challenged because you can take it to the European Court of Human Rights if we are still in Europe and say, you can't stop me from walking on a street in London. I can wear a mask. I can paint my face. You send children to events in the green wilds of fucking the Cotswolds. You can have your face painted in the Cotswolds of the United Kingdom and leave there without fear of arrest. Now that effectively is a mask, but you do it in Trafalgar Square because the police don't like that you have your face covered. They forcibly removed face coverings of protesters this evening without any law invoked.
That's
You can
fucked
take
up.
it. Sorry?
Well,
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
well, I would say under English tort law, that is assault that the officer is committing on the individual.
And we pay for it.
Yes.
In times of austerity, we're paying for our own assault.
Brilliant.
Well, I mean, there's a similar thing in Canada because the Canadian Criminal Code for decades has had a law that says if you wear a disguise while committing a criminal offense, that is an additional charge and an additional sentence. You know, it's basically meant for armed robbery. It's from the stagecoach days, for fuck's sake, robbing trains. It's been there forever.
Stand and deliver. I know that song.
But then a few years ago, under Emperor Harper, he brought down a law that said wearing a mask in a public place is now a crime, and that was the excuse they used to crack heads at peaceful protests, specifically anonymous.
But it's interesting that when these high rollers have their balls and it's they're all in their gowns, they're allowed to wear masks to be incognito, so they can fuck each other without knowing who they're fucking.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was going to go a completely different way and say, what about the poor kids on Halloween?
Well,
Maybe-
you can't
I was gonna say,
you can't limit the commercial exercise of Halloween. Halloween must be profitable. That means children must wear masks to sell billions of dollars of candy.
Now, can adults wear masks on Halloween when you go out partying?
As long as they are spending money on alcohol, oh, most certainly.
Oh, okay. I get it.
Here's an idea. How about having a dual annual event where you can wear your mask on Halloween and November the 5th? That way you get twice the enjoyment. One, you can collect candy and spread the good gospel of Anonymous. And two, you can get mace and pepper spray.
Yeah, that's about the way it works out.
Yeah.
Well, that's actually what I usually do for Halloween. I don't want to dress up and offend anybody's culture because that's shitty. So I just wear my Anon mask because I can.
The objectivity of what criminality is gone. That's all there is to it.
Totally. That
It
is
is-
such a great statement, Glenn. Seriously.
It is now the subject of corporate direction. Anything that impedes the making of a dollar, that is criminal in this world now.
Yeah.
Move to cryptocurrency.
Which has been going up, by the way. Bitcoin was at like $700 the last time I looked.
There's a reason why Bitcoin is maintaining such a high value.
Why is that?
It's because it's actually now considered quite a legitimate form of currency. And banks are now holding Bitcoin or buying up Bitcoins to pay ransoms for those
For that fucking malware.
Yep.
against malware. Yeah.
Ransomware made Bitcoin a legitimate currency.
Yes.
Well, we've been intimate with that shit, haven't we, Bad?
Yes, we have.
Yeah. Explain, Bad. Go on. Tell us your own personal.
Jesus. Well, so we got some ransomware at work. It was neat. And I had to figure out what to do. And we ended up eventually just paying the ransom. So I had to buy a bunch of Bitcoin. And, I bought low and sold high, so I got to keep a little bit. It was not fucking cool at all, because the goddamn thing only decrypted about a quarter of the files, and back up your shit, kids.
Indeed.
How did that happen, by the way?
Oh, it was in a Flash ad, from what I could tell. Just a random ad on our own website.
Wow.
Yeah, it was bullshit.
You kind of asked for it then.
Yeah, a little bit. And everybody's always like, no, don't use ad blockers. We make money on that. And I'm like, fuck you, put an ad blocker on. You're not the one that's got to clean this shit up.
That's right.
Oh, great. We got fucking cops lurking. Yeah, he was working.
I've got an important update from AJ.
Oh, yeah?
He's safe.
Awesome.
He's out.
Right on.
They arrested him for waving a flag, nothing more. They can't charge him for waving a flag, so he was released.
So it's basically what happens all the time in North America. It's we're just going to detain you and fuck you over for a while. Now get out of here.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, lovely. And again, a great use of public funding.
As if we haven't got enough to work. We can't feed our homeless.
Yeah.
We can't home our homeless. We cannot provide healthcare for those that need it.
Yeah.
But we can spend probably a few £1,000 detaining somebody for waving a fucking flag.
Indeed.
I'm floored by this.
Can I just give a diatribe now? I'm about to go on one, and this is directly at the Metropolitan Police. Your actions this evening were totally unbecoming of a public servant. You proved yourself to be complete cunts. Everything I've seen today, you proved yourself to be anti-society. You may go home and say you've done a good job to your friends, family and children, but you're a fucking disgrace. You should not be in a public-facing position. Okay? You need. I don't know. You know when you get that guy that picks up the phone when you phone him, and you think, what the fuck are you doing? And then he gets moved to a back office job. That's the Metropolitan Police. The entire Metropolitan Police should be moved to a back office job because you're not worthy of public facing. How the fuck is that, Metropolitan Police?
That's funny.
Now, I know the Metropolitan Police has had barbs with others on UK radio. This is my barb with you. You could have instigated a riot tonight and people could have lost their lives. You went in heavy-handed, unnecessarily, and you've arrested people unnecessarily. You've wasted our taxpayers' money unnecessarily. You really need to go back to the fucking drawing board. This is not Orgreave, cunts. For those in America that don't know about Orgreave, go and check it out. This is a political attack on the working class.
It is. And why are we not allowed to have our say? For God's sakes, our votes don't count, you know?
I would just like to simulate that I am sitting in the House after that statement by the member from a non-UK radio. Yeah, jolly good, yes, good, jolly good, jolly good.
Just
I concur, good sir.
Today's event could have ended up in the death of someone. The Metropolitan Police were heavy-handed. It was unnecessary. We need
And
to.
from what we hear too, the DC police were heavy-handed and unnecessary too, or some arm of the federal government or something.
Well, I mean that's a whole other scenario, though. I mean, in London it was all Metropol, right? There was no other agency besides the Metropolitan Police there.
I think so.
Top.
There he is.
There was more than Metropolitan Police there. The Metropolitan Police were the ones with MP on their riot gear. There was intelligence. You need to bear in mind that Anonymous is an internet-based group. So there would have been all manner of the UK's intelligence in attendance, but they wouldn't have been seen.
Okay, what I was getting to was they were the only armed force present.
Visible, yes.
Okay. In Washington, D.C., when we had 7 on in the opener, when they were on Capitol Hill, the Capitol Hill Police Department were there. They were backed up by the Metro D.C. Police Department. And And then behind the Capitol Hill Police, closer to the building, was the Secret Service Armed Division. And then as soon as they left Capitol Hill and started moving through the district in D.C., then the Department of Homeland Security showed up with their tactical gear. So there were 4 armed police forces on that march.
And what was the attendance there, roughly? Did he ever give you an estimate?
I think the highest that he estimated to us when he was on air was maybe 400.
That's 4 different arms, for 400 people. That's ridiculous. Again,
Indeed.
Here, it's another abuse of power. It's an overreach. It's repression of free speech. It's censorship. This is what the world. This is one of the things the world should be angry about, is the fact that we are losing our voice to the police state, for fuck's sake.
Where were the riot police storming the fucking actors that allowed Flint water to be poisoned?
Where are they when there are child sex parties? Come on.
I'm not even going to mention spirit cooking right now.
I don't even know what it is. That's how blissfully ignorant I am. I don't know what it is. I saw many tweets and I ignored them.
Spirit cooking is a Podesta email. They use excretes from breast milk and semen as part of their cooking. Yeah.
Come on!
No.
Why?
We're all human. We're all human, right? It's just liquids.
The ones I don't want in my own body, thank you.
This is part of the ingredients to cook food.
Semen and breast milk.
Breast milk, yes.
Oh. Okay.
I must admit, I'm not jealous that I don't actually excrete a liquid from my own bosom.
If you pumped hard enough, you might. It's possible. Keep pumping, Top.
I think what this speaks to is something that Stanley Cohen brought up on show number 4, is the purpose of so-called law enforcement has become nothing but the perpetuation of a political orthodoxy to protect the system of government. That's all it's about. Yeah, that's all it's about anymore. Force is brought against those who question the system and the way it operates. It's got nothing to do with law, right, wrong, nothing. It's just
it doesn't.
You speak out against what we do day in, day out, we're going to fuck with you. That's it.
And you can't get a job as a police officer if your IQ is above normal.
Exactly. Well, it's
As
just like
we heard.
Yes, just like the promo said. Exactly.
We've heard this. We've heard them asking, like they're looking for a few good, upstanding citizens that don't care about human rights or anything like that.
Yeah.
Fucking with homeless people and shit.
I had an interesting conversation with a police officer. He had a full riot garb. He was a riot actioned police officer. And he said, "Thanks for attending the event, but you need to leave by 9. I said, "That's awfully nice of you, officer. Thank you for the advance warning. Can you advise me why I need to leave by 9? And why the fuck are you wearing a helmet?"
What did he say?
Nothing.
Section so-and-so is invoked. By the law, you have to leave because the law says so. So, do you know who I am? Do you know why I'm here? You're protesting. I said, what, there's a protest going on? It's the first I know about it, and then I invoked Rick Ashley. It didn't go down too well. He kind of looked at me with disdain. I said, "You just don't get it, do you, mate? You're here, but you don't understand. Rick Ashley is a god."
No.
On that note, people,
We'll never give you up.
you can't give up on us.
Well, you see, if that would have happened in Oakland, then the policeman would have cited some statute to arrest you for mental observation.
No, he told me he wasn't going to give.
Officer.
He said he wasn't going to give up.
I
Yeah.
know.
You missed one letter there. You. Never going to give you up.
Yeah.
Oh,
See,
yeah.
now when you say that to a police officer, it's like, I've got every faith in you. I'm never going to give you up. I think there's a chance for you. They kind of think
That's so sweet.
I know. I'm just thinking that it's like I've got your back. Guys, it's nearly 3:00 in the morning. Thank you so much for fucking listening to me.
Thanks for coming on, man. I know it's nearly 3:00 in the morning.
Bye, Top.
Great work today, man.
Yes, absolutely, you guys.
Just glad it all fucking worked out. It could have gone a whole lot worse.
It could have, and with the short time we had to get everything together, I think we did a pretty fantastic job, really.
As a collective effort in the week or so that we've been planning this, high five to all the team. Great work.
Indeed. High fives all around.
Yes.
And I guess I'll see you very soon, Top. Are we doing a show tomorrow?
Yes, we are. I've got nothing planned. We can just reminisce. Maybe we can get AJ on. I think he's got 3 hours of fucking venting to get out.
Yeah, I would love to hear what happened with AJ from AJ himself. Yes, that would be fantastic.
I've got a feeling that I don't have any choice if AJ's going to be on tomorrow. He's just going to go nuts, I think.
Oh, that'd be fine. I'll just let him go, man. You know? Seriously, shit.
AJ, breathe, chew.
Oh, God, poor AJ. What a bunch of shit. Well, much love, you know. See you, okay, all that good stuff. Talk to you tomorrow. On the flip side, go to bed, crazy Brit.
We'll touch again. Adios.
Indeed.
Good night.
Night. You guys want to go to a tune real quick?
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and I'll play that. I'll play the Serena promo then the tune.
Alrighty.
A message from Anonymous Operation Serena Shim. We want to take a moment to thank all of our friends and family that have fought side by side with us the past 2 years in a battle to get justice for the murder of our sister, journalist Serena Shim. On this special day, November 5th, 2016, Operation Serena Shim stands in solidarity with all of our anonymous sisters and brothers and allies who support us around the world. Today is our day. Today is the Anonymous Million Mask March. The entire world is watching. This is our day to spread love and unity. This is our day to let our voices be heard. We will be silent no longer. This is our day to let Serena Shim's voice be heard. Best of luck on all the marches today. Stay safe and protect each other. We are Anonymous Operation Serena Shim. We are Legion. We will never forget Serena Shim. We will never forgive those involved with her murder. The truth is coming. Expect us.
If this is it, you can. Can you show down my greatitude? Red tape and policy is what keeps me alive. In the land of the free, I'm alive. Message word in the land of the free. No time for decide me. She's all like, oh my God, and I'm all like, oh my God, and they're all like, oh my God. I'm not here to God. School, you know, Hollywood suicide, my ego is glorified. My funeral is brought to you, Lord, please exploit me. In the land of the free, I'm alive, message me. In the land of the free, no one more can save me. She's all like, oh my God, and I'm all like, oh my God, and they're all like, oh my God. I'm like, there's no God anymore. She's all like, oh my God, and I'm all like, oh my God, and they're all like, oh my God. I'm like, there's no God anymore. If this is it, then you can have it. If this is it, then you can have it. She's all like, oh my God, and I'm all like, oh my God. They're all like, oh my God. I'm like, there's no God anymore. She's all like, oh my God, and I'm all like, oh my God. They're all like, oh my God. I'm like, there's no God anymore. She's all like, oh my God, and I'm all like, oh my God. They're all like, oh my God. I'm like, there's no God anymore.
And And we are back. This is MMM Live on the 5. We are the show 5, which we were calling Gear It Up, but for some reason, we've had some issues collectively after kind of organizing this amazing, incredible, continuous global coverage of the Million Mask March all day today. BadItUp's phone reset itself to factory settings last night. I don't know why. So he just had to reinstall Skype, and I don't know if he's able to join us. So when he wants to talk, I've just been putting him on mine, unfortunately. So the DDoS, lots of crazy things. And then what the fuck is that? His phone gets factory reset overnight. What phone does that?
I don't know. I don't think we're qualified to answer. We can only speculate.
Right? I can't, because I'm, like I keep telling you guys in the back channels, I'm just a journalist. I'm not a tech person. I'm sorry. I am a audio person, a journalist, and that's kind of my whole shtick. So when it comes to tech stuff, that's why I have BadItUp to translate for me, So I think all in all, we had a good day globally. Unfortunately, some people were arrested. We, tomorrow on Top Gear Live, will try to find out if people are still incarcerated and what we can do to help them. So that's something that I was thinking of doing. I don't know how much else we have to add to this conversation, guys. What do you think, Glenn? I mean, I could talk about Dapple for like 1,000 and eaten in 5 years, but...
Well, as far as today goes, I mean, off air, we were kind of talking about the DDoS. I haven't seen server logs, but I did get an estimate of the power of it. 400 gigabytes per second. That's a serious attack. And it was sustained. It was basically.
How long did it last?
It was around 90 minutes.
Wow.
And it did
at that level?
No, it did ramp up. It started out around 200, 250, and by the time we hit the hour mark, it was up to 400, a little more, and it stayed there for a while. So, I mean, that's some serious power. So, I mean, that only adds to speculation where this could have come from,
With everything else that happened, with the MMM Live on the 5 Twitter being immediately shut down as soon as it was turned on, I found that to be a bit suspicious myself. That's kind of bizarre. And I know that you are going to address that whole issue on a show this next week, right?
Yes, next Wednesday, my regular show will address that entire episode. I mean, for anybody who's not familiar, TLDR, I have my main account. I had an account for my radio show, and I was asked to help out with the MMM Live on the 5 account. The second time I logged into MMM Live on the 5, there was an immediate suspension of all 3 of my accounts. So
that's insane.
That is nothing more than a IP-based algorithm that was sent looking for me. That's the only way to explain that. Now, where it came from, whether there was somebody with deep API access that planted it, which is quite possible. It could have been just some fucking neckbeard in a basement who don't like me. That's possible. But considering the circumstances of the account they were triggering it off, I find that unlikely.
Right. Me too. Especially because we know that they do not like this event. And as we've seen from Top's reports, from Seven's reports, we saw an increased law enforcement presence globally from last year and from the year before. And the idea behind this whole day for us, for Anonymous, is peaceful unity, protest, showing up in numbers, showing the world that we're here, how many of us there are, that we are legion, in fact. So I think it's frightening them, to be honest, Glenn. I really do. I think that the establishments are frightened by this movement, so they do what they can to squash it. And I'm not much of a tinfoil hat person, but I have been involved in my younger years in the American Indian movement. And when I was involved in that, there was a lot of government interference, a lot of tracking by the feds and wiretapping of my phone and whatnot. So I know they do this stuff, and I know they do it to people who they consider a threat. And it's definitely somewhat, anonymous is something they consider a serious threat.
Yeah, and again, I go back to what was mentioned by Stanley Cohen tonight on my show. It's all about limiting alternative visions to how this world is run. That is what scares them. If you are part of their crowd, you can break every fucking law in the books. They don't care. They're never going to come out. They're never going to come after you. But if you want to do things a different way, you want to do things a new way, you want to do things a fair way, that's when they have a problem.
Look at what happened to Move in Philly. I mean, they wanted to live the way they wanted to live, and the city and the government firebombed them. I mean, they sieged, attacked these people, and it was basically a commune of people who believed in raw food lifestyle and homeschooling their children and living in a more natural way than we live. And unfortunately, they decided that was unacceptable, and they annihilated these people. They murdered so many of them. And the women I saw testify at the subsequent trials were some of the strongest, most powerful women I have ever seen in my life. I mean, I was just blown away by them, because every question they were asked, they were like, did you do this or whatever? And they would answer with stuff like, did you assume that because your greater culture was imposed on me, that my personal views are the same as yours? Because I don't think they are. And just go into this incredibly eloquent diatribe about how they're inherently different from you, or from the powers that be and whatnot, and how that's the only reason that they were attacked and treated in such a brutal and horrifying manner. So we've seen it over and over again.
Well, I think one of the things about Move is similar to what happened to AIM, is similar to what happened to the Black Panthers, is because it was gaining popularity. It was gaining acceptance. It was working. It wasn't just an idea that people caught on to. It was actually being put into practice, and it was working. The Move community in Philadelphia was spreading, and it was homeless. It was getting people off the streets. It was detoxing people. And this is what scared the white authority. It's like, holy shit, these people are empowering themselves. They are getting off our bogus support systems. They will find a way out if we let this go on.
And everyone will learn from them.
Yeah, and that is simply not acceptable. So, again, you're finding an alternative way than what we want you to do. So we can't allow that, I'm sorry. Because, the old bumper sticker is, the government hates competition. Don't steal.
Yeah, I used to have that on my car, as a matter of fact. That's funny. And we're seeing it at Standing Rock, too, right now.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. And, I mean, we've been seeing it in Canada with Idle No More. We've been seeing it with the pipeline protests. We've been seeing it with the student protests. It's everywhere, And the common thread is we want a new way. And it's being denied with force.
What I find very interesting is the fact that most of our popular media, say movies, TV stories, that kind of thing, focus on the underdog and truth and justice and fighting this big giant power that no one can overcome except this one, underdog hero. They feed us these stories, and that's what people root for, but in real life, they think that the underdog is a total piece of shit because they're anti-establishment, So that's a very strange dichotomy to me.
Well, I think another important factor of these fairy tales that have been perpetuated, be it through Superman, Batman, or the underdog in comic books, it's always an individual or a couple people, and that is simply fucking impossible. They never have like 100 or 200 people in a group that do it, because it's like, hey, wait a minute, somebody's going to fucking catch on to this. We can't do this. Make it glorious, but make it realistically impossible. That's okay.
And if they want to harbor these cute little fantasies, that's nice. But we all know in real life, there's no free lunch and people don't care about anybody else except themselves, which I find to be very untrue. I think that people have a great capacity for caring, and I think that we should, really try to nurture that and let that grow instead of squashing it, and trying to put everybody into a cookie cutter mold, as we see, kids going through this education system here in the States, which is just farcical. My children I have 2 about to graduate, 1 who's just graduated, and they don't know words. If I said farcical to them, they wouldn't know what it means. So then I explain it, obviously, because I'm their mother and I am their educator first and foremost, but most people don't see that. They don't treat their children like that. They say, oh, you go to school, you learn there, they'll take care of that. I just, feed you, bathe you, give you love, blah, blah, blah. It's not true. Like you said about democracy, you have to participate actively in parenting as well. And that's how you raise kids who will go to these protests. My kids come to protests with me. They always have.
Yep.
That we've always taken them out to OpSafe Winter events, especially because that is one of the best ways. If you want your kids to learn something, you take them out on the streets and you have them feed people and you have them meet kids that are homeless, and their whole world will implode, and then it will build back up by you helping them build it back up. It's hard for them to see that, but they need to. I think we have a real tendency, especially in America, to try to wrap our kids in cotton and pretend like the world is full of love and joy and happiness when it's not. Got to prepare people for the real world.
Well, I think it's the long-term social engineering that's gone on the last 40 years too, because you say, why don't people expose their children to political activism, etc., etc.? How many, like if we go back, say 15 years, how many yuppies would be going to a protest and their kids would say, oh, fuck that, I'm going to stay home and play on my Game Boy?
Exactly. Or how many yuppies 15 years ago would actually be going to a protest? I mean,
well, I'm just saying,
I know. I'm extrapolating, you know what I mean? You're right, absolutely, though. Absolutely. Kids are like, nah, I'm good, And I think a lot of parents are like, okay, well, that's okay, honey. I just am not that kind of parent. I'm a lot more, I don't know. I have really good kids, and they're very, very successful, and I'm very proud of them. But I think that that's a part of my upbringing and my culture as a Native person, too. We really invest ourselves in the next generation because that's our hope, man. My daughter is voting for the first time in the presidential election. This is exciting. God only knows who she's going to vote for, but, Bernie's not in. She's despondent. But we're raising, in this country especially, we're raising a whole bunch of, people who cannot deal with the real world. Kids who don't know how to use a can opener, for Christ's sake. Well, this is not good.
Well, the real world is not shown to them, per se, like it used to be, And
You're right.
They're sold a fantasy existence, and this popular American culture, quote-unquote, reality is sold globally. I I always tell people to watch the video of Rammstein, the song America. And it shows people in tribal dress, supposedly in Africa, and they're eating a hamburger out of a styrofoam box. And they show a guy on the streets in Tokyo sitting on a Harley Davidson with Fonzie hair and a leather jacket. This is totally foreign to their culture, their environment, their history. But this is what they are being convinced they must attain to.
By all of that media, and it is designed to do these things. I work in media, and I can tell you that when we get a new salesperson at a terrestrial FM station or terrestrial TV station, you will get about 6 months of training, and about 4 months of that is watching tapes and attending seminars on how to manipulate people. 100%. Like, just manipulate people. So they learn how to use psychology to not only write the ads to get you hooked, but also to manipulate their clients to get them to buy. So it's really interesting. I mean, really interesting, because I was privy to some of these tapes. I got to watch some of them, and I was appalled by the shit these people were being fed. So, I mean, most salespeople are heartless bastards, honestly, especially in media. I love some, but not most. And it's no wonder, because they are conditioned from day one. They step into that role to become this manipulative, crazy person. It's wild, you know. So you've got this damaged person who's in charge of writing these crazy ad campaigns, you know, that are sold to the masses, who then consume them all over the world. So, I mean, it all kind of goes to one narcissistic, sad, kind of self-esteem lacking person who wrote a crazy, terrible ad because he's been manipulated by psychology. I mean, it's really weird how we live our life in this society.
Oh, indeed, because, you know, if you look at Bernays, if it wasn't for him, it would have been somebody else. But I mean, if it wasn't for Edward Bernays, things would be quite different, because his concepts have been used to sell everything from world wars to bubble gum. And it works on everything. So, I mean, there's power in the simplicity of the human being, and it's not being used for good anymore. It's being used for profit, and there are no limits. And I mean, that's why I love the show Mad Men when it was on. And I think it was no accident that it was set in the 60s, because you could do it in any decade from the 50s on. But if they put it in the 60s, it was removed enough that people didn't really make the connection to apply it to today. Because it's there. It's in your fucking face. It's hiding in plain sight.
Yes, it is. It's right there. And it's really easy to spot once you know what you're looking for. It's fucking crazy.
It reminds me of I was gonna say, it reminds me of a movie. It was actually kind of a shitty movie. One of the movies that one of the early WWF wrestlers made. Rowdy Roddy Piper was in it. And in this movie, he found a cardboard box of these dark shades in an alley.
Oh, God, what's that called? They Live?
They Live. Yeah, that's what it is, but They Live.
You know, that movie is relevant to this day, because you put a pair of these glasses on and you would see through every advertisement around you. You would see the true message behind it. And that became why he had to be killed, because he had possession of those glasses. And that was a good movie. You know, like, there's a lot of relevance to that.
There is. And, you know, I guess the reason I kind of went on this meandering pathway of crazy mom talk is because I saw so many mini-anons today. I posted a couple pics on my Twitter TL, if you guys are sometime when you're not so crazy, tired, and swamped, of a couple very cute little girls and boys who were just, you know, that makes me have hope. And I was talking to a couple other people who said that there were a lot of babies and youngsters at their protests as well, which it's a beautiful thing, you know. I think that's wonderful. I really, really.
No,
Had
true
something else
enough.
I was going to say. And it got my head. Phew, senior moment.
Well, there was one thing I wanted to throw in. I wanted to make sure this got out. Personally, I think the show I did tonight is probably the best show I've ever done. That's my opinion. And ironically, the reason that it turned out that Sue and Leanne and Stanley were by themselves for the entire show is because my fourth guest stood me up. And that would have been, I was supposed to record a segment with one of the admins from Yoranon News. And they did not show up, and I in turn had the best show ever. So how apropos is that?
That's fantastic.
Yoranon News did not show up, and we had a much better product than we ever would have had with you. Thank you, Yan. Fuck off. I'm done.
I'm really glad that, I just want to say I'm really glad that Leanne was able to join you. She is a joy in this world. She's a beautiful soul, and I love her dearly. And I love her son dearly, and I love her husband dearly. The DeHarts are a really great family. FreeMattDeHart.com, Courage Foundation. You can find all the information about the Courage recipients. As you probably heard with Naomi on Glenn's show this morning, Glenn's been on the air all day. And Tim.
Yeah.
And Tim. I'm getting lost because you've just been on the air all day. So, you know.
It feels like it.
It's just the Courage Foundation is a fantastic organization. We had Naomi on Top Gear Live last week. I hope that everyone can support the Courage Foundation because they do great things. We're talking Snowden, Chelsea, Free Matt to Heart, you know, Lowry Love, lots of good stuff. So we saw a lovely Free Lowry Love t-shirt today at the Sacramento Million Mask March too. So that was nice.
There you go. Slow, surely.
Yeah, you know, and I think that one of the best things about the Million Mask March is the awareness that we can raise about some of these issues that people don't know about. I don't know about where other folks were, but where I was, there were, you know, just average civvies walking past, and a lot of them stopped and said, hey, what's this about? And you've got Anons in suits explaining, in nice clothes, you know. I don't think they were really necessarily suits because it was hot, but they were dressed nicely, and they didn't look like ragamuffins. They were explaining to them what the day was for and why they were protesting, and I think that they got some good education out there, and I think that's one of the biggest reasons that we do this.
I agree.
Absolutely.
I think people fear us a lot when they don't need to. It's just from rumors and how the media portrays Anons a lot.
No, that's true. That's true. And, you know, you only have to look to basically what we consider the detriments, the bad apples of the last 5 years. And, of course, those are the ones that media jumps on their bandwagon and creates them as the pattern for Anon. You know, we have Sabu. We have fucking Jackal. We have KY Anonymous. We have all these asshats who went far beyond what they should have and took advantage of people. And now apparently they're it. I mean, I liken that to saying that on Mount Rushmore there should be Richard Nixon, George W. Bush, let's see, who else? Who else was a fucking clown? Eisenhower, who did nothing but golf. You know, why aren't they up there? Because that would be the same representation standards.
Exactly.
You know? But yet...
Yeah, I mean, it's one of my biggest bitches is that it's so many good things are done. Before Op Safe Winter, there was Op Feed the Homeless and Op Christmas and, you know, all these other, you know, I don't know, like op socks and stuff. There's a lot of things that people were doing to help the homeless out. There's a lot of people who were exposing pedophiles. There were a lot of people who were exposing corruption and all kinds of things. So there's a lot of good things they're doing. People are out there fighting the Daesh every single day on Twitter, doing things that our stupid government can't seem to manage to do. Kick these assholes off Twitter, you know?
Yep.
I think that's valid. I think that's very valid. And without them, how many more ISIL fighters would there be? Who knows? I mean, you can't quantify it, obviously, but there it is. These people are tireless. I've watched their accounts, and they are tireless, searching for the ISIL accounts and reporting them and getting people to help them report them, etc., etc.
And then what happens when they attack them hard enough, they get arrested?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Well, you know, again, I just fall back to what Stanley said. There is a political orthodoxy that must be maintained at all costs. And that means at the cost of your citizens, at the cost of your national security, at the cost of whatever it takes. We must maintain the system. We don't analyze the system. We don't question the system. We just merely serve it.
And that's why Leonard Peltier, unfortunately, has been held for so long and probably will not be released because the American government cannot admit that they have ever done anything wrong. Because if they start that ball rolling, what would happen, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah, I was with Nolan Hack the other night. We were talking about that. It's horrible. There's people really working hard trying to get him out, but for what I'm hearing, he can't get medical care. He can't. I mean, he's an old guy, and he can't get anything he needs.
He's diabetic.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's been in prison literally my whole life. My whole fucking life. I'm 43. That's bullshit. And he didn't do it. Newsflash. Okay? So there's that. Watch Incident at Oglala, my dear listeners, if you don't know what I'm talking about. It is on Netflix, I believe. Very, very informative documentary. Unfortunately, I have personally been working since 1989 to free Leonard Peltier. I protested Bill Clinton in Seattle in 1994-5, trying to get clemency for. We really thought that Clinton might, because he was such a fucking weirdo, that he might give Leonard some clemency, but that didn't work. We thought Obama might, you know. So it's just it's been a fight that we have been fighting for 43 years. I mean, 42, 43 years. He's been in jail for a really, really long time for something he didn't do.
Yep.
And not just jail, fucking Leavenworth.
Yeah, he's not the only one.
True enough.
There's Kevin Cooper in California. There's people all over.
So many.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And here's what frightens me. Leonard is famous because that incident was famous. How many other brothers are in there? How many other sisters are in there for shit like that we don't know about, you know? Of all races, of all backgrounds, of all creeds. How many other people are political prisoners that we don't know about? My dad was one for a year. Why do you guys think I do what I do? You know?
Well, it's unfortunate tonight that Eugenio Ochoa couldn't call into the third show as intended. While I was doing my fourth show, and when I asked the question of my panel, what is the cost to the jailed political prisoner, Hig did DM me and said, "Can I call in and comment on the cost of being a political prisoner?" And I said, "Fuck yeah!" And then 5 minutes later, he DM'd me back and said, "Okay, I just got a call from Kylie. She needs a ride home from the hospital." So, oh well.
Yeah, and then I spoke with Hig probably about a half an hour before this show started, and he was like, "Okay, I just have to run and do this," and I was like, "Dude, don't worry
Yeah.
about it. Like, seriously, just don't worry about it. If there's anything you want me to pass along, I will gladly do so. But I didn't hear back. And just, dude, take care of your beautiful family. We love you. I hope that everybody's okay. Just go take care of your family. Don't worry about this. We'll catch up with you later. You know?
Yeah. Agreed.
So,
well.
But
Next
I
year.
would love to hear his thoughts on that. I mean, I really would, because he's got a very unique perspective. He's served his time. He's got kind of this gracious humility about him that I really respect, you know. I don't know. He's a really cool guy. And his wife is amazing. And I really like her a lot. So I hope she's okay.
Oh, yeah, at the end of the day, it's no accident that Eugenio Ochoa is a non-wormer, because he is the type of man to fill that role. You know, I mean, yeah, the price was harsh, and he would rather it not have happened, etc. But you can ask him any time, all said and done, would you change anything? And he will say no. Because he understood why he did it. He believed. He still believes. You know, he just doesn't do the same things anymore. But it certainly hasn't changed his values or his ethics. You know, I mean, it's just like Jeremy Hammond. You know, I mean, Jeremy, I mean, the thing about Jeremy is, during his sentencing in his statement, he said it flat out. When I get out in 10 years, I'm going right back to doing what I was doing. Fuck you guys. You know, he is a revolutionary. That's all he is. And he will remain one. Fuck you. Fuck your system. I don't like it. I'm going to fight it. Plain out.
The letter I got from him was very much in that vein. I was like, so, you know, how's jail? You know? Yeah. What do you say? You know, I don't know him at all. So I'm like, hi, I'm Dorky Gear. How's it going? How's jail? Kind of fun. It's, you know, so I just described like, okay, it's nice out and I'm just sitting here, blah, blah, blah. And he writes back and he's just like, well, you know, really funny, really witty, and really revolutionary. He's just like, you know what? Just, you know, just stay revolutionary, my friend. I'm just trying to fuck the system, you know? And I'm like, fuck yeah. You know, kid just got out of solitary again. Dude was in solitary again for, you know, they throw him in solitary every other day, it seems.
Yep. And that's why.
And that is bullshit also. I hate solitary.
Well, of course, but I mean, that's how the system works. I mean, Stanley Cohen went into that tonight as well. I mean, what Stanley said was, it doesn't matter how strong you are. They will not relent until they find a way to get you to adhere to a minimum that they can fucking tolerate you. You know? I mean, they just will not give up because they have all the levers. Like he said, they control how many visits you get, how long they are, when they are, how many emails you get. They control everything, and they use everything to engineer you, to experiment on you. And you know it all gets documented, and it all goes into the program for how to deal with the next guy who's a pain in the ass. And that's all it's about. It's about breaking people. It's not about
for sure.
It's not about serving your time for the crime committed and all that bullshit.
Oh no, it's not about rehabilitation, you know. I mean, if it was, we'd do it like other countries do and actually rehab people. But we don't do that. We put people in a horrific place with horrific food and horrific guards who are a lot like our police officers, sad to say. Underpaid, you know, overworked, and conditioned to hate everybody they think is a lesser human being than they are. It's a bad place for everyone.
Agreed.
Not a fan. I mean, and it's just, I was so upset when Stanley Cohen was was sentenced for some bullshit. I mean, and that's the thing. That's what they get you on. That's what they got my dad on. They got my dad on embezzlement charges for 12 cents in an account that wasn't closed because his secretary, the only person who could have testified that my dad wasn't embezzling, died the day before they indicted him. Convenience.
Oh my God. Yeah, no doubt.
And he spent a year in jail for trying to save the water in the lake where I lived in Nevada. He successfully did that, however. So, yeah, he did not conform. He paid with a year of his life. And that happens all the time. You know, like I said, how many political prisoners are there like that we don't know about and will never hear about?
By design.
By design, absolutely by design, because they don't want you to know how many people are uprising. And that's why they suppress MMM Live on the 5 Twitter. That's why they suppress or they show up with such a huge show of force to Trafalgar Square and to DC and etc. Because they don't want the world to see us. You'll notice that RT is all over the MMM. They'll show all kinds of footage, but none of the American outlets will. Oh, hell no.
That's right. Well, I mean, the same principle, to a much lesser degree, was used on me with this Twitter thing, because I log into MMM Live on the 5, suspensions. Okay, so I gather you're taking that account away. Oh, no. You have to tell us why we should give any of them back to you. Oh, really?
And what the fuck did you even do? You created a new account, and people do that all the time. There are people who have businesses, assholes, or bands, and I don't know, I used to promote bands. That was my business, Glenn, and I would make, from the same IP, 10 different accounts for the singer, the fucking merch guy, the drummer, the band itself, etc. Nobody ever blocked me for that. I never got kicked out of my personal Twitter account for that. It's because of what the Twitter account was, in my humble opinion.
Well, I mean, you know, like I said, I don't want to go off too soon, but
no,
yeah.
We can't do that.
You know,
Twitter's really bad when it comes to censoring. I've said it all
They
day
are.
today.
You know, I mean, that is what it appears to be, but, you know, that's what I was expecting. And then when they finally did respond to me, after I told people, not using Twitter, who they should start harassing about it, as soon as that started, I got an email within 2 hours after that. But when I got the first email, it was, why should we give you any of these 3 accounts back?
That's bullshit.
And I'm thinking, okay, well, I've had Canadian Glenn for over 6 years, 95,000 tweets, 1,500 followers, and it's never been suspended. So because I logged in somewhere, you want to take that away from me? How the
I can't even believe it. Right? How the fuck? Exactly. Like I said, I've done what I just described to you more than once for several different bands, and never been banned from my account. So it's not just a matter of making too many accounts from one computer, you know?
Well, the issue is they used a hyphenated word, which they themselves put in quotation marks. And it is the crux of the entire matter. So now that today is done, I have 3 days to do my research and to take a magnifying glass through their quote-unquote rules. And I believe I will be predicting to them about the other 45,000 accounts that they should be revoking for what they claimed I was doing. And that'll be the basis of what I'm going to be talking about.
Well,
because,
you know they do this to Ray Johannesson all the time.
But
they kick his ass off Twitter all the time, and it's ridiculous.
I mean, the whole point of it is this is the power of a corporation. We make the rules. they don't actually define anything. It's just a bunch of words that we put together, and at the end of the words, we say there are penalties. So what these rules mean is up to us on every day in every circumstance. You can never nail us down on them. Whatever we say is correct because they're ours. And that's what it comes down to. That's
And
all it is.
People, would be like, oh, you lost your Twitter account. Well, to some people like us, that's a fucking big deal, man. I've worked for a really long time to build my Twitter account and to follow the right people so I can get the right information that I need. I'm a journalist. I want X, Y, and Z, and I've been working on this account for, 10, 15 years. It's been a long time, so I completely understand your frustration, but
Well,
it's just like,
it's the naked hypocrisy of their methods that I have the real problem with. And if what they did to me, if they did that across the board, there would be a lot fewer accounts on Twitter. I mean, a lot.
Right.
They'd lose
Millions.
a lot of money.
Millions of accounts would disappear if they enforced the rules the same way they did on me for that account. And that was an account with around 70 tweets that had existed for less than 72 hours and was already getting close to 300 followers.
unbelievable. I'm just floored by the just blatant censorship that we live in. I think because for me, that was my first when I was a very young lass, way back when I was knee high to a grasshopper. That was my first thing, was free speech. I was very, very adamant that people could say what the hell they wanted to say. I don't have to agree with you, but you can say whatever the fuck you want to say. Words are words. I get it. I mean, they can be hurtful. Yeah. Okay. I get that too. But I believe very strongly in free speech. So for me, it really pisses me off when censorship happens. I just get really livid because it's just wrong. It's yeah. And especially unbalanced censorship. Exactly, Glenn. I mean, if you're going to go ahead and just delete everybody with that particular flaw in their Twitter account, fine. But don't single me out for some trumped up bullshit reason when it's blatantly obvious that things are happening here. We're becoming popular. The hashtag is pretty popular, and things are going to happen tomorrow or the next day at the Million Mass March, and you don't want to help us promote it.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, even if they did want to just take that account away, well, fine. Whatever. That happens. That happens every day. That's not a big deal. But the thing that really got me motivated to look into this was they went beyond that. They decided to punish me by taking the Twitter account for my radio show. That is theft.
That's bullshit.
It's theft.
Yeah, it is theft.
The way they presented it to me, by letter of the law, it is extortion. That's what they did.
Oh, God. It's just makes me angry. Oh, sorry. Falling. Okay.
Well, whatever. Like I said, I got work to do the next few days.
Yeah, indeed.
Oh, well.
I think we should go to a tune real quick so I could get myself sorted out.
All right.
If we can, Tim.
I'll play the OpSafe winner, then the IDGAF.
Okay.
Got it.
Thank you.
Greetings, citizens of the world. We are anonymous. This is OpSafe Winter. For too long, you just walk on by. You pass that soul on the street. That soul. Your son? Your mother? Father? Brother? Daughter? And you look away. not wanting to admit how close you are to being like them. There's a common misconception that homelessness is caused by a lack of responsibility, a lack of drive, or something that the homeless themselves did wrong. But we aim to project that homelessness is an effect that our current humanity accepts. There are people on our streets in our communities without shelter, without food, without warmth, or the comforts too many take for granted through no fault of their own. Why does society demonize the poor when the fault lies with the rich? And ask yourself, how long would you last if the next paycheck was your last? What would you do to feed, shelter, and keep yourself safe without money, without a place to call home? Who could you turn to? Anonymous does not acknowledge this to be an acceptable status quo. Human beings are not disposable, are not to be thrown away like trash and ignored. Each and every one of us has value. We will do what we can to assist those who find themselves in this vortex of poverty. We ask you, do what you can. Humanity and kindness cost nothing. Humanity in this age appears to be lacking. There exists in every community small pockets of humanity here and there, struggling, fighting against a norm that's sickening. The norm says, I'm okay. I have what I need. I don't need to care for others. But there are those among us who are homeless, hungry, cold, and alone. Anonymous asks, do what you can. Assist those that need support. Share just a little of your comfort with someone in need. Embed in your child's mindset that helping others is a normal human trait. Your child will then instill this trait in their child's minds, and we progress. We progress as a species, and we prove to the world that humanity is here, that humanity is alive. We can make the world a better place simply by caring for each other, fulfilling our needs through each other in the spirit of compassion, understanding, and generosity. That is the duty we share as humans. We learned to share when we were children. Let's not forget it as adults. A moment of kindness can change the world. It can change the world for you and the people you help. Kindness is contagious. Your act of kindness and generosity can save a life. We can put humanity on a plateau that none have seen before. Let's do this. Be a part of OpSafe Winter. We are anonymous. We do not forgive. We do not forget. Do what you can. The homeless can expect us.
What a beautiful, sexy night. What a shame that someone would try to mess this up right now. Look around. I mean, I hear everything you're saying, but to be honest with you, I don't give a fuck, dude! Let me tell you about my GPA, 4.0 straight A's, and I don't give a fuck. Let me tell you about my resume, it's so cray, it's insane, and I don't give a fuck. And my boyfriend, he's so hot, and the car that he bought me is I don't give a fuck. And my ooh la la, my blah blah blah, and I don't give a fuck. Cause I'm a bachelor, so fuck attaching a label to the life we're living and imagine a future where we won't be living in the past. I'll be flipping birds like a chicken breast on a spatula. So if you're bragging, then you can forget it. And if it thunders and if it rains and pours, let it. And in the morning then it'll hit you that George said it. They gave him a fuck, you returned it for store credit. But don't be sorry yet if you got a score, settle it. Cause it's more pleasure with fun before etiquette. Get up on the table and pour your drinks, get it. But don't be boneheaded, it's for your own benefit. I'll be getting open and seeking my seventh heaven. Irreverent while you be seeking the Reverend or Pope Benedict. You gotta stick where the sun don't shine, well that's fine. But remember that I don't give a fuck. Let me tell you about my GPA, 4.0 straight A's, and I don't give a fuck. Let me tell you about my resume, it's so cray, it's insane, and I don't give a fuck. And my boyfriend, he's so hot, and the car that he bought me is I don't give a fuck. And my ooh la la, my blah blah blah, and I don't give a fuck. All I wanna do is get my mind right. If I'm looking at tomorrow, check my eyesight. All I'm gonna focus on is this fine night, cause all I know is that this life is finite. Never Neverland isn't more than a legend, and so I gotta be digging the present session and getting this, wedging myself up into the wettest crevices, effortless, grabbing a piece of the flesh. If you love it, then why fight? Some people slower than a 90s modem. Wanna see the nips? It's a while to load 'em. If life is a woman, she's got some epic titties, and I wanna get up in it and live it in motorboat 'em. Cause I wanna see the cool and the classy, and I wanna see the cruel and the nasty. Cause if it's real shit, let me feel it, and if you can't deal, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. don't give a fuck. And my boyfriend, he's so hot, and the car that he bought me is I don't give a fuck. And my ooh la la, my blah blah blah, and I don't give a fuck.
Hey guys, we're back. We are going to wrap up this incredibly amazing day. It's been such a wild ride from Trafalgar Square to Canada and back to California and all over the entire globe. Glenn, any last thoughts?
I'd just like to pass my thanks on to everybody that contributed, everybody that participated. If you go to MMMLive.com, take a look at the bottom of the page, click on credits. You will see who helped make this happen. And to tell you the truth, it was great, but I'm glad it's over.
You have a really great rest of your night. Get some silence for a little while and some rest. And I appreciate all the work that everybody did as well. MMMLiveOnThe5.com. That is the website. And thanks to everybody who came out and supported Anonymous today. You guys are all beautiful. You're all amazing, and we love you. Top Gear Live is on tomorrow, 9 p. GMT. So I'll see you then. Glenn, when's your next show?
My next show will be Wednesday night on Blog Talk Radio. The View up here, 9 o'clock Eastern.
Sounds great. I will be looking forward to that. I think we're just about out of time. Is that right, Tim?
Yes, if you want to play those songs, we got to go now.
Yes, indeed. Thanks, guys. And remember the 5th of November.
All right, thanks, you guys.
Thanks, guys. Good night. Well done.
Right about now, NWA court is in full effect. Judge Dre residing. In the case of NWA versus the police department, prosecuting attorneys are MC Ren, Ice Cube, and Easy motherfucking E.
Order. Ice Cube, take the motherfucking stand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help your black ass?
You goddamn right.
But won't you tell everybody what the fuck you gotta say?
Never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down, never gonna run around and desert you, never gonna make you cry, never gonna say goodbye, never gonna tell a lie and hurt you. We've known each other for so long, your heart's been aching but you're too shy to say it. Inside we both know what's been going on. We know the game and we're gonna play it. with the punches so I survive. Try to rock cause it keeps the crowd alive. I'm not balling, I'm just calling. When I pass the days and just yawling. Ring around the pump, you jump up. Feel my words reverse to get juiced up.